Hello PHI planners, this is Justin and I've put together this video in order to demonstrate the new electronic permission form. So ultimately the goal of the project is to eliminate paper forms and begin capturing permission slips electronically through Rover. We've built the system so that when you utilize Rover to generate an electronic permission slip, and you get a sign off from the homeowner using the computer itself. They just sign the screen. It will automatically process and issue that permission slip to the homeowner's email address as defined on the parcel record. But there's also an opportunity to key in the email address at the point of signature capture as well. So, with all that said, I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how this feature is set up to work. In this case right now I have Rover on my screen and I am looking at a parcel 2609 Oxen Park Street, which has about 6 to 8 removals associated with it. These yellow triangles representing the removals. So if I wanted to create an electronic permission slip for all these removals, I need to bring up the electronic permission slip. The way that we've designed this is that the permission slip is associated with the parcel. So if I edit the parcel, it'll bring up the edit form that we're all used to. But in order to access the slip, I need to make use of this related features panel. So when I click that link, it will expand this panel and it'll show me, in this case, there are 6 removals, 1 vine pole, 1 brush, and the parcel itself, all associated in this collection. So the related features panel will automatically identify all the records associated with the property and present them to you here in this panel. From here, I can jump to any one of these particular records in order to edit or adjust it. I can also jump to a particular record in the panel by clicking on the feature in the map as well. In this case, what I have is we've just planned this parcel. We've got everything in here as to be determined status. So I have a 14 to 18 inch R1L for an ash, status to be determined. And so the first step in this process is to acquire permission from the homeowner. And so as I have this information presented to me here, I have the option to go ahead and mark all these to be determined as permission acquired. To do that, I utilize this tool down here at the bottom where I choose the permission granted rule. I also have the option to assign everything as utility holds rights as well as scope modification. If I choose the permission granted rule and then hit the pencil icon, what that'll do is that will change the permission status of all these records to be permission granted. The records it's going to change are the ones that are currently checkmarked. So right now I have all 6 removals checkmarked. Perhaps the homeowner is very favorable to this willow and they don't want it to be adjusted or touched. So I can uncheck the willow and it'll give me now 5 removals that are currently selected. And if I apply this permission granted rule, it's prompting me that I'm about to make changes. I'll say yes. And as we can see, these 5 removals have all been changed to full permission, whereas the willow is still to be determined. I may go to the willow and perhaps update its permission status from to be determined to refusal. In order to move forward with the slip, I need to load up the parcel again. So right now I'm selected on that willow. If I go back to the related features panel and navigate down to this parcel, we can see now that the parcel is highlighted and I have a new button here that becomes available to me called Forms. If I click the Forms button, it will include everything that I have checkmarked on this list as parts of that slip, that permission slip. So right now I have 5 removals included. If I wanted to include all 6, I can hit the checkbox up here. It'll checkbox everything. If I wanted to, for whatever reason, include none of the removals, I can hit the checkbox, it'll uncheck everything, and then I can, of course, just cherry pick the ones that I'm interested in. When I click the Forms button, a new window will open up, which gives me a preview of each of the forms. Now, since I've already logged into this system, I already have a signature tied to this slip. But if you need to revise your signature or update your signature, you can do so by clicking on the Form and Signature tab and signing off. You also should type in your name and your phone number, because that information will be embedded at the bottom of your signature on any forms that you produce. I already have a signature though, so Rover is smart enough to remember your signature in that it chooses that based on who you've logged in as. So I've logged into Rover as Justin Stratton in the past. I've created my signature, so now anytime I log into Rover as that user, I will have a signature for me. This isn't system-wide, this is only on a tablet-by-tablet basis, but generally speaking, if you have the same tablet day in and day out, you'll only need to sign off once. The next step is to choose my template. So there's two types of slips that we have in the system: notifications as well as vegetation management agreements. So, and then for those two slips, we have each one presented for the operating company in question. So if I go to the vegetation management agreement for Pepco, I can choose that template, and it will populate this form for me. And so here it says at 2609 Oxen Park Street, located near these feeders, and then the normal permission slip, a table presenting all the features that have been check marked in the related features panel, and then comments and notes. The comments and notes are actually coming from the parcels comments. So whatever comments you have in that parcel box will appear on the slips. So that is a tool that you can use in order to put any other disclaimers or any other pieces of information that you might want to communicate on this form. Now, as you are dealing with the homeowner, you can review this form with them, and then they can go down here and they can sign it. Now, the first step is to list their actual name. So we'll just say that this is, how about SpongeBob SquarePants. So SpongeBob SquarePants is who owns this particular property, or he's the current tenant. He's the person with the permission to allow for this work. And then SpongeBob can go ahead and sign using the pen of your stylus his signature. He can then mark that he accepts the disclaimer, and once that is marked, you can click the green check to accept the signature. There's also the ability to produce one of these slips without a signature, so that way you can print it and mail it, because it has a manifest of all the work that is to be performed. But ideally, you'll be having good FaceTime with the homeowners and able to capture their signature electronically. I'll go ahead and hit the green check. And it then is prompting me to ask me, do I want to open or save this file? I'll go ahead and open it. And we can see here that I have a preview panel that opens up that shows me the slip that has been created, including the signature of myself and the signature of the occupier. And at the bottom there, it does list his name embedded as part of the signature. This is now this slip has been captured. So if I go back to the main form, I can hit the save button on the parcel, and that will trigger the process where the permission slip will be uploaded and attached into the record on My Rowkeeper. So we will actually be able to see this permission slip associated with this parcel on My Rowkeeper. If I go back to the forms If I need to see any prior forms that have been created, I can click the All Forms tab if there are forms, and I can see that listing of those forms. I can right-click and delete them if I need to, or I can click on any of them to bring them up into the PDF viewer. We can have as many forms as we want. If we wanted to do another form in the future, we can attach another form to this particular parcel. The all form list will just have a list of all forms that have been associated with this particular property. We also have the option to attach a form to a property, assuming that you had to print off a form and mail it to get signed authorization. When you get it back, you can scan it and then attach it as a PDF to the parcel record itself. Now, what the final step to show is what the homeowner will actually see. So the email in there was my personal email, and so I'll switch over to my personal inbox, and we can see that I've received the Vegetation Management Authorization Form for 2609 Oxen Park Street with Pepco. And listed in the body here is a notice concerning upcoming work on its nearby easement, and I can also see this particular slip. As far as the homeowner is concerned, this email came from the planner's email address, so justin.stratton@davy.com is who I was logged into Rover as, so it comes to them on their behalf. It also will CC you on any messages that the system sends out for you. So on your own inbox, you will have a copy of this Vegetation Management Authorization Form that has been issued out for the planner. All right, so that's a quick demonstration of the electronic permission slips in Rover. It's really taking full advantage of that related features panel. This is something that's been in Rover since version 3.1. It's something that I'm not sure too many planners have taken a lot of advantage of, but now it's there for you to experiment and utilize. And the slips are pretty exciting. We're really happy that we were able to move forward with this idea. We're hoping that it's going to reduce a lot of time that each of the planners are having to spend chasing down paperwork and bundling it all together, getting it attached to the map books, etc. All this information should automatically be incorporated in our delivery process that we're producing out of the GIS department. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Have a safe and productive day.